Greetings, is I, Tantus Narratical, your Lord of Darkness here at the Dracovin Empire. What? Greetings, is I, Tantus Narratical, your Lord and Emperor here at the Dracovin Empire. My brain's a little fried today, so don't mind me. I messed up my intro. Hey everybody, welcome. We're going into the world of darkness today. We're learning about another tribe in the Werewolf The Apocalypse. I could just redo that entire thing, but I think it's much funnier for all of you out there to enjoy my massive goof. I hope you enjoy me being very silly and combining my normal intro with World of Darkness. Feels natural. Feels natural. This is the kind of thing people keep in anyway. But yeah, we're talking about Children of Gaia today. It's a tribe of werewolf in World of Darkness, Werewolf The Apocalypse, and I hope you enjoy joining me learning about them. You can always give me support by joining live on Twitch or over on YouTube later on. When it's there, I'll give out shout-outs at the end of today's video. Hey, why don't we just get started then, since I messed up everything else about this entire intro. And let's start by talking about some books and sources you can dive into for a little bit more information and for, well, mechanics. Because I'm not really talking about mechanics. Any of the normal core books will do you. This is just one of them. I was trying to find I think this is the revised edition, one of the Werewolf Apocalypse core books. But any of those will give you some basic information on them. The same with the Player's Guides. This is the original Player's Guide, but any of the newer ones will do it from the original to W20. Certainly speaking, the Children of Gaia Tribe book, and of course Tribe book Children of Gaia, which are just different editions of the same thing to a degree. I don't know why he has. Oh, because he's certainly with one of these. And of course, I did find the Player's Guide to Garou has provided some information that will be out. Okay, who are the Children of Gaia? Well, they are a tribe, as I mentioned, that's a member of the Garou Nation. So they are the group of Garou that are part of their major nation. Their totem is Unicorn. And their job, as part of being a group of Garou and a specific tribe, are peacekeepers. Basically, the Children of Gaia have this understanding that if the tribes are to prevail against the Wyrm, they need to be unified as one front. So their job is they believe their job is to be peacekeepers between all the groups of Gaia, and to work together to eventually have them unify against the Wyrm in a united front to overcome it and win the day. Whether that will ever happen or not, they're trying. They're trying, and it's good of them to try, but, you know. Now, when we look at their history, their creation legend tells that during the era of bloodshed amongst the tribes of Garou, Gaia herself resurrected innocent cubs from each of the tribes, slain by their foolishness. The idea was, this is the source of their tribe, not the source of Garou. That they were battling against each other. Gaia resurrected some that were innocent, slain by them, and she placed them in a secure place between the roots of the World Tree, where they were protected and grew up. Others tell that the wolf protected Gaia from an attack of a eater of souls against her heart, and this wolf become the ancestor of all Garou. The severed fangs claim wolf as their sole ancestor. Those who remember it was not only wolf, not a specific wolf, but a specific tribe, who formed the Children of Gaia. So it's basically, the Silver Fangs would say that it's a specific werewolf. The Children of Gaia are like, we helped protect it because we were there, you know, and we were created from your foolishness. That's some of their legends, basically. Now we, though, have to go to the War of Rage. Good old War of Rage. The Children of Gaia tried, but without success, to basically calm the rage of their brethren. They originally used to fight against other Pharaoh, something that was basically exploited by the more vengeful of Pharaoh, who came to see as refugees to the children seeking comfort, and then basically slaughtered them. Other tribes used the reputation of the children as traps, luring Pharaoh into peace talks and then slaughtering them. The children even actively participated in the massacres at times out of loyalty to their friends and packmates. So, they weren't without blood on their hands. During the Imperdium, it was the children that eventually called an end to it. living close by their human relatives in ancient Sumeria. They believed that if humans could be educated enough about Gaia and the spirits, they would come to respect them by themselves. Eventually, Children of Gaia spread to Greece, Babylon, Crete, tying into the first civilizations to teach humanity the value of peace and harmony. Some listened, many didn't. By the time of the Roman Empire, the children had a difficult stand, as the empire itself was expansionist, and even traced its founder Romulus back to the god of war Mars. Many children supported the early Christians, seeing their message of tolerance and forgiveness as similar to their own creed. Yeah. It started off nice. They really, unfortunately, have tried their hardest. They really have tried their hardest. The Dark Ages weren't easy for them, as few cared about peace in those days. Many children of Gaia lived up to the chivalric codes during these nights, preaching chivalric virtues to their fellow Garou, to try to mediate between the raging tribes. And during this age, they were among the first tribes to see the power growing of the Wyrm, the growing threat of the Inquisition, banning through leech activities, as well as careless Garou that privately reinstalled the Imperium in their protectorates. When the Americas were discovered and made accessible to the Garou nation, the Children of Gaia were advocates for an alliance with the pure tribes. This failed at first, when the other tribes, particularly the Fianna and Geta Fenris, demanded cairns and lands from the pure ones, which they naturally refused. It took the threat of the Storm Eater to unite the tribes of North America into one nation that stands today, even though now this concord is shaky at best. But yeah, a big threat to all of them united all those there in America. And that has remained pretty shaky, but is there. We get to the modern age, and while many tribes are noticeably shrinking in population, the children are holding their numbers steady. Benefiting from the anti-war sentiments, after 2 world wars, they tried to ensure that such atrocities would never repeat. Many of the concerns of the children, such as free speech, civil rights, women's rights, have been realized in the past century, but the tribe itself is divided into camps and factions that continue to bicker against each other, preventing them from gaining the unity they want to achieve for all Garou. So basically, they have a lot of things they want. They're still bickering amongst themselves about how to go about getting those things and little details about them. And then even that bickering amongst themselves doesn't allow them to help unify everybody else, so it's a mess for them. They try. Alright, let's talk about how they're organized. So, their organization is far more egalitarian than many of the other tribes. Originally, a sept of the children would be led by a triumvirate: the voice of the goddess, a female, the arms of the goddess, a male, and the heart of the goddess, which could be anyone, but was usually chosen by the spirits. Additional voices are the green branch, which speaks for the local spirit world, and the cut branch, which lends its voice to the dead. In the time of final nights, basically what we're going into now, these structures have been basically disassembled. And again, I'm going to kind of mention this here too. I'm not getting a lot of open excerpts from W5 at this point in time because I haven't dove into that. So if there's any major updates for any of the tribes, I'll probably do a video specifically on W5 lore in the future. Keep that in mind. Just going to say that now, because I thought about it, and I have to say it. So, camps. Because over time there have been multiple camps of the tribe that have been disbanded, as they were seen as hindrance in achieving a unified tribe. But there are still some camps that remain in these final times. The Anointed Ones, which is a camp that renounces violence in all forms. They don't raise a hand to strike another creature, and constantly find a new way to free themselves of rage to maintain control. The Seekers of Lost tribe seek to revive the 3 dead tribes of Garou, or at least to learn some of their secrets to use against the Wyrm. The Servants of the Unicorn are masters of diplomacy and specialize in mediating in-tribe conflict within the nation. Patient Dead believes in refraining from violence until it's absolutely necessary. Needless to say, they're often at odds with some of the more martial tribes like Geta Fenris. The Eminent Strike is the war camp of the tribe, seeking to unify all Garou for the final battle. Again, they do see needing to fight against the Wyrm and its corruption and stuff like that, so the Eminent Strike is sort of like, we are ready for when we're unified to fight against the Wyrm. In addition, there is one heretic camp banned from the nation and the tribe, the Bringers of Eternal Peace. They seek to bring the apocalypse, think that after the Wyrm has won, true peace can be finally achieved. They're rumored to be on the brink of falling from Gaia. So it's not necessarily that they are diving into the Wyrm, but they believe they should let the Wyrm win so they can get true peace afterwards and build something after the apocalypse. But that also means they're very vulnerable to the Wyrm, the falling to it. Yeah. They're in an interesting position there. Should I skip a image here? Yep. I got I've got mine. So, culture. They are often mediators if there's disputes between packs, sects, and tribes. They have a number of cairns of their own. Sept of Healing Dawn is in the Temple of the Dara in Egypt, in Quena. The Sept of the Eastern Eye is in the Mirror Woods National Monument near San Francisco. And the White Sea Sept on the shores of the White Sea near the city of Archangel in Russia. Now, their culture goes both political and kind of religious. On the political side, the packs and septs are loosely organized and have their hierarchy, and they tend to hold ranks strictly... They tend to not hold ranks strictly like other tribes. Elders are generally open to younger generations' contributions, and they tend not to have the same aggressive and physical enforcement of ranks as other tribes do. So they're very open, they don't tend to have ranks, they tend to be kind of open. I mentioned the two old leaders that were kind of around, the Voice of Gaia and the Arm of Gaia, the female and male versions. They don't really have those offices anymore, and in the Final Nights, and they don't really have any offices at all then. They don't even hold regular global moots or over-regional leader, and there are no regional leaders, no. As part of their peace-loving nature, they frequently work together with humans and environmental organizations. They tend to work with governments of humans, pushing pro-environment laws and regulations as often they can. So that's one of the reasons that they are very, political. They have this very environmental message they're pushing forward. Now, culturally, religiously, they are strong advocates of peace and mercy, but it's unity above all else that they care for. Mercy is for their fellow Garou, and those who could be cleansed of the influence of the Weaver and Wyrm. Peace is their dream, once the tribes of the Garou unified against the Wyrm and the Apocalypse War has been won. That unity is deeply important to them, not because they are merciful healers, but because they are warriors as well. In addition to the common precepts of the litany, the children have their own, without the other tribes knowing. Create and pursue peace when possible. While the children themselves are divided in the interpretation of their own tenet, it stands to remind them that there is more than one way to fight for Gaia than following one's rage. To reflect this, most Children of Gaia eschew claves in favor of quarterstaffs, which they use in a fighting style called Iskaku. It is uncomfortable for many children that are viewed as Chanarch by their peers. While it's true that the tribe is more tolerant of metis, they do not advocate such breaches, in part because much of the time they are the ones who end up raising the offspring of such usions. So it's the werewolf on werewolf, breeding metis, which is kind of mostly not looked at very well. They tolerate it because they have to raise them, but they're not like, please just don't do that. If you just don't do it. We're the ones that usually have to look after. Any pup who's been looking too longingly at a packmate, same or opposite sex, it doesn't matter, often finds themselves babysitting a whirling, shrieking ball of claws and furrows that cannot be calmed down by a simple lullaby. So yeah, they're like, hey, you want a relationship with another werewolf? Before you do that, look after this child that we've adopted. And good luck, because Metis children are right in the middle down there, yeah. So, look after a Krynos. Then decide whether you want to, find love outside werewolves. They're just like, they're advocating it in the most friendly and basically like, yeah, if you want to do that, deal with this shit first. So, they see the world divided between Gaia, who represents love, freedom, and similar virtues, and the triadic Wyrm. Though someone would begin though some would begin to include the Weaver, who encourages barriers between people, isolation, and egotism. In the eyes of the children, the Wyrmish virtues are always intrusions from without, so by investing themselves into teaching humans about Gaia, they hope to cleanse it from its taint. But, yeah, there you go. There's the Children of Gaia. A very interesting tribe because they are pacifists to a good degree. And some of them are true pacifists and don't fight at all. But there are plenty of them that are more pacifism as long as we can do it. But they aren't against that, be standing up as a warrior when needed. I think that's an important part about the Children of Gaia. When they need to fight, they will. They have been tempered by their history and by a lot of things that have happened to them to learn that a lot of times you need to be ready for that fight. And certainly against the Wyrm, they're always ready to stand up and fight against it. That's something that's definitely there. But any other battle, especially one between Garou, is one that is better left to words before fists or claws. And their hoping for unity is perhaps a pipe dream with everything that goes on with the tribes, and even with their own infighting. Inner conflict, I should say. But it is a worthy dream to see the Garou united and to face the Wyrm together to overcome it. It's been shown in the past. Hey, with the Storm Eater, when the tribes of North America united after their conflict, they were able to defeat the Storm Eater. It shows that unified, things like that, the Garou nation can stand strong and defeat the Wyrm. But again, there's so much to overcome with that, and a direct threat doesn't exist to allow such great unity to occur anymore. It's one of the reasons that the North American kind of conculcative stuff is shaky at best now, because that great threat is gone, and those old battlegrounds between ideals and tribes are kind of coming back up of things that have happened, and it's just still a mess, but they tried to navigate and maintain peace and unity as best they can. Unity! Unity is the word. That's why the Children of Gaia have such a monumental task that is impressive that they try to do it. They try to bring about unity to the tribes. And it's impressive and a very reasonable thing. A very brave, heroic, wonderful thing to have as a group. Alright, I hope you enjoyed today. I love diving into the world of darkness and talking about things. The tribes of the Garou nation and the werewolf people are very interesting. Many of them have deep, interesting little histories or quirks about them that make them unique and interesting to speak about. And I hope you enjoyed learning about Children of Gaia. If you always want to see more tabletop stuff like this, you can always catch me live on Twitch, as I've said before, on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Fridays tends to be my World of Darkness day, if you could join me live then. If you can't, always go up on YouTube, so you can always check me out there. But if you're over on YouTube, please remember to do the normal stuff to support the algorithm there, liking, subscribing, ringing the bell, and of course leaving a comment about this. Have any of you guys played Children of Gaia out there? I'm just curious, you know. Or have you had deals with them and like another player that joined you in your werewolf games? I do have social media. Discord's linked below, my Discord channel, and my Twitter/X link down there. I usually put up, kind of goings on, scheduling, cat pics. If you over on the Discord, I do like video suggestions for tabletop and other stuff, interesting stuff. I have a channel open for that, so all that kind of cool stuff. Check those out. Anyway, I'm gonna get going, and I hope you enjoy. Oh, I do have a live play of TTRPG, Crimson Queen, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. in the evening. Check that out, all EST times. And Discussing Tabletop Saturday at 6, where I have my podcast/talk show. Talk with some of my friends about news of the week and interesting topics in the tabletop world. Alright, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm going to go hang out with Twitch for a while. But until the next time, I bid you all a deep and wonderful farewell.